Tēnei te ara kairunga, ko te ara o tēnei tipua, ko te ara o tēnei ariki, ko te ara o tēnei matua iwi, ko te ara ranginui atu nei, papatua nuku e takoto nei kia rarau iho ngā tapuai o tāne, tēnei te pō. Nau mai te ao e rongo o kairi i ake tūturu o ka maua ki a tīnā. Aumi e ui e. Tēnā tātou. Tēnā tātou i runga i te reo karanga o Tapuae Roa, tōna rewatanga. Ia tangihia ngā mate, kua takoto mai nā ki runga i ngā marae o te kāinga. Kāinga minita tēnā koutou. E Shane, Fletcher, Andrew. Tainoa ki ngā minita o te kāinga. Kawea mai ngā mate, o koutou mate, kia tangihia me nei o te kāinga o Taranaki maunga. Rātou kia rātou. Tātou kia tātou e pai nei ko ngā iwi o te kāinga. Taranaki maunga, kia rarau pai ai tēnei o ngā kaupapa, te taha o ngā koro matua o Taranaki whānui, mihi ana ki tātou, tātou kia tātou o Taranaki maunga, e kaupapa mā tātou Tapuae Roa. Rekare tō rongia, ai runga i te āhuatanga, kua roa nei tātou e hikoi ana, whakatina ana hia tēnei o ngā rautaki kātahi, ana ko tēnei ko te tūmahi kei mui te aroaro no reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou kia ora tātou katoa. Taku koaia.
E ngā iwi o te motu nei, e aukura rā tēnei, e te tia nei e te ati aua, i te iti te rahi te katoa. E ngā iwi o te motu nei, no iara te whenua nei, mana ki ti ara ngā iwi, i te iti i te rahi te katoa. Kua tū a te witi, no rungai ana mahi pai, no rungai ana mahi tika, i tōna ngā kaupai.
Kia ora tātou katoa. Just on behalf of ngā iwi o Taranaki, along with the Mayoral Forum, we're just pleased to welcome you, the community, that are going to make this action plan, put it into action. I suppose when we launched Tapuae Roa, we talked about getting on the waka together and going for a little hoi, going for a little paddle. We've just got to make sure that the paddles are all in unison. So we're very pleased on behalf of the iwi to be involved in this, and I want to acknowledge the Mayoral Forum, of course, our ministers. Shane, you are not a stranger to Taranaki maunga. Taranaki maunga has lots of stories of your visits. We'll talk about those later. But we are very pleased to acknowledge you in your role as the Minister of Regional Development, but also to acknowledge Simon when we launched this kaupapa back in August, and the fact that we're here today to get things going. Nō reira, mihi ana, tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou.
Kia ora katoa, everyone. Now I've been upstaged by Whare, so that's it's to be expected. I'm not going to dwell on the welcomes to date, but I'd like to also acknowledge Barbara Kuruga and Jonathan Young and Harete Hiponga as well, who have she's travelled up from Wanganui to be with us. My job here today is to keep things rolling. We've got a busy schedule ahead of us. We've got lots of people and places to see this afternoon. So I have to deal with some housekeeping. Firstly, as we move in case of emergency, we've got an exit to the left. We've got an exit obviously out the stairs in the back door here. The assemble point is on the other side of the road here by the Plymouth, and the staff will have high-vis vests if there is an emergency to evacuate. Of course, if there's an earthquake, drop, cover and hold. As I said, Whare has done a part welcome, and I want to extend that welcome also to Mayor Nievolsky, Mayor Dunlop, and all the dignitaries here today, including councillors and staff from Wellington, from MB, my own staff, and of course staff from Stratford and South Taranaki. I had the privilege of leading and being project director of Tapuae Roa, and it's amazing, after 2 years of hard work with the launch of the strategy in August, we're here today to launch the action plan. So you'll hear from Peter Tennant today. Now, Peter was the lead and chair of the lead team, a team assembled from the business community around the Maunga that have worked and guided this strategy and this action plan over the last 2 years. And I want to acknowledge Peter and the team, their support certainly for the technical advice and guidance as this action plan has evolved has been amazing. After that, you'll hear from Mayor Neil Holdham. Mayor Holdham is presenting on behalf of the Mayoral Forum. There is an official handover of the lead team to the Mayoral Forum for implementation that is happening, and he'll say some words there. Then we'll hear from Jeff Henley from Henley Hutchins. They were the consultants that helped the technicians around the Maunga, the government officials, the private sector in distilling like a fine gin this amazing piece of work. So Jeff will present a very abridged version of this document, which you should all have a copy of. Very easy to read. It's not to be used as a coaster. It's really, really important. It is the blueprint for prosperity for this region moving forward. After Jeff, we'll go to Under Secretary Tapuae, and he'll say some words and also introduce Minister Jones. So on that note, I'd like to invite Peter to the stage, and Peter will say a few words on behalf of the lead team.
Thanks, Liam, to Minister Shane Jones, Minister Andrew Little, Under Secretary Fletcher Taputu, MPs Jonathan Young, Barbara Kuriga, Ahuriti Hiponga, Mayors Neil Holdham, Neil Volsky, Ross Dunlop, Chair David McLeod, councillors, community board members, elected representatives, past and present, Nigel Bickle, MB, Chief Executive of Regional Economic Development, Team MB, Al Morrison, Mark Patterson, community representatives, the Make It Happen people at Henley Hutchins, Adventure Taranaki Trust, the Archbishop. I look around the room, I should be recognising you all, legends one and all, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. It has been quite a journey. I want to start by commending the Crown on the challenge they put out and commending the Mayoral Forum on accepting that challenge. About 2 years ago, we were pulled together, and this journey has all been about working together. Collaboration, the 4 councils, the 8 iwi represented by the 3 waka, the agricultural sector, the energy sector, the visitor sector, business community, the philanthropic sector, the total community, the people associated with this place, many of whom don't have a postal address here. People around New Zealand and around the world who still want to stay connected, who want to know what's going on and want to know how they can help to make cool stuff happen. All of that and all of those people in collaboration with the Crown and in partnership with the Crown. Developing a vision for where we want to be in 30 years' time. As Liam said, in August we launched the strategy, and very soon the Minister will be launching the action plans, the Make It Happen. The reality is, and I suppose I should say one thing, is that and it's part of the housekeeping really, the action plan is all about partnership. There's a significant amount of resource that's going into it, and a meeting like this, if you have a cell phone that goes off, expect to be tapped. So put it on silent. The Taranaki, I suppose you could say New Zealand, finds it very difficult to compete in terms of dollars on the world stage. But in terms of the smarts of Taranaki, and in terms of us, when you can get us all working together, when you can get us all agreeing on a vision and where we want to go, we are absolutely unbeatable. Absolutely unbeatable, and anything is possible. Last night we had a meeting where we formally handed over the action plans back to the Mayoral Forum. A couple of years ago, we were charged as a lead team with getting us where we are today. That was then formally handed over yesterday, but it's also fair to say that to a certain extent it was symbolic only. I, Deputy Chair Whare, all the members of the lead team, all the people that have been involved in this process will continue to lead, will continue to work incredibly hard, time, energy, resource, thoughts, to make what's happening in the action plan come to fruition, and so much more. So big thanks at this stage to all the team behind the scenes, Henry Hutchins, Venture Taranaki, all the folk that have supported the table where the lead team have sat. I am very conscious, Catherine and all the others that have supported the lead team, you didn't do Christmas break this year. The cell phones, the messages, the private numbers, the emails have been going right through that Christmas break to get us where we are today. So on behalf of this community, thanks to you all. In terms of the lead team, the Brains Trust, I've got to tell you, absolute privilege working with you all. I have never Googled so much in all my life. The future is here, and we're all part of it, and Taranaki is going to be leading the way, but by gosh, after every meeting I'll Google and find out what the dickens we were talking about, but it's been exciting. And I've got to say to all of you and all the folk involved, you have my admiration, you certainly have my respect, but you've got my huge gratitude for your commitment. But now's the time to turn the hui into dewey. Now's the time to bring that action plan to fruition, and I'm looking forward to seeing that happen, and I'm looking forward to working with you all to make that happen. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Now, last night we formally handed over the action plan to the Mayoral Forum. It's appropriate now that we call on a member of the Mayoral Forum, His Worship the Mayor of New Plymouth, Mayor Neil Holdham, to say a few words on behalf of the Forum. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, man. Well done.
He honere, he kororea ki te atua. He maungarongo ki te whenua. He whakaaro pake nai tangata katoa. Tihei Māori ora. I te whakaruru hau o te maunga Taranaki. Tēnā koe e koro. E nā iwi o nā hā e whā, e aku rangatira mā, e nā kaunihira arohi. E nā kaimahi mā, tēnā rā koutou. Ko Honourable Shane Jones, Minister of Regional Economic Development, Roa ko Fletcher Tabluto, Under Secretary of Regional Economic Development, nā mihi nunui, nau mai, hari mai, tauta mai. Kua humai ki tēnei ahi ahi. Ki te kawe mai e nā kōrero. Ki tēnei kaupapa o te Tapuae Roa. Ki te hāpai ana e whānaki ana. E nā rangatahi, e nā tangata o Taranaki ki a rātou. Mahi mai, mahi atu, no reira. He whakatau aki ki a tātou. Mana aki whenua, mana aki tangata. Hari whakamua, no reira, e tēnei waka huria kia reo Pākehā, tēnā koutou katoa. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. There have been a number of names welcome, but I thought I'd name a few. Look, we're delighted to have our Minister of Regional Economic Development, Shane Jones, and the Under Secretary Fletcher Tabluto here, along with Minister Andrew Little. We have Jonathan Young and Barbara Kuriga. I also want to acknowledge Mayors Dunlop and Volsk and my esteemed friend, Chairman David McLeod. Ngā iwi of Taranaki. Some of the critical players in this development of this program, the ministry officials, my fellow councillors and councillors from further afield in Taranaki, invited guests, and I also want to welcome anyone that gate crashed the meeting. In Taranaki we are one, and today we come together as one, with a plan. We needed a plan to determine how we take this fantastic community ahead. And now we have a plan. We've done the hui, now it is time for the dewey. But to do these things, we need to work in partnership, and that is why it is so pleasing for me to see all of you people in the room, because we have here the real cross-section of our community. We have our esteemed colleagues from central government working with the people's servants, local government, we've got our Ministry of Officials, we've got our business people, we've got our iwi coming together with a blueprint, a strategy and a plan for how we prosper Taranaki. And who are we doing this for? We are doing this for our people, the people that are here, the people that are yet to come. And when I think about the work that we do, we are working for people that have not yet come to this community. The children that haven't been born, the visitors that come to visit, that have not yet decided to make this place their home. We have so much going for us. We have such a great gift to give to people that are coming here, but we need to work together to, one, preserve it, to sustain it, and to grow it. This plan focuses on energy and food and iwi and tourism. These are 4 areas that we have incredible opportunities, but they need all of our efforts to ensure that they grow, and they grow in a way that is sustainable, that we deliver a long-term sustainable future for our people. We are excited, and I believe we are energised by that maunga up there. There is something special about that. It gives us courage and strength, and it encourages us to dare to dream. But we're not here to dream. We've planned. We've developed a strategy. We are here to work. We are here to work for all of you. Why? Because you're our people, and you are the people that are going to make things happen. So the challenge is to take an action plan, realise that everybody here is prospiring for us to succeed. And now it is time for us to partner, to get on, and it is, as Chairman McLeod has said in the past, it's time for the dui-dui. So I'll now invite Mr. Jeff Henley to come to the table and talk about how it is that we are going to prosper Taranaki. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Neil. You would have got the book on your seats. I'm going to give you an animated version of the video, and if you play your cards right, maybe down the track you might get the t-shirt. What I'm going to do is just run you through what the program is about and familiarise yourself with it. That's the journey that we have moved through. It was a journey that started in earnest in November 2016. You can see the parties who are involved. The early work was evidence gathering and information gathering, a wide range of interviewing with key informants, and then we published the strategy in the middle of this year, which was really a statement of intent about where we thought it would go. We then formed 8 action teams, which had anywhere from about 5 or 6 people through to about 15 in special subject matter areas, and you can see those listed there. And from that, we distilled out the action program, and that's what is in this document. If you want a big idea, and these things do need a big idea, it is that people are the next big primary industry for this region. It's in a knowledge economy that's approaching us, in a technology-driven economy that's approaching us. It's what's between our ears as well as under our feet which makes the difference. So this program at its heart is about enhancing our talent, converting talent into business enterprise, and diversifying and deepening the economy in a number of quite specific areas. There are 2 types of experiences in regional New Zealand, to generalise it. When trends are working for you, think particularly Auckland. I know they worry a lot about growth, and Hamilton and Tauranga and Queenstown, who also worry about growth. Your problem is riding your luck. But much of regional New Zealand has the trends moving against it. The trends of urbanisation, loss of young people to the cities, focus of business into urban areas. You have to make your luck, and that's what this program is about. There are threats out there. The energy industry disruptions that are coming upon us, which may involve shrinkage of the industry, are significant. Transitioning energy from non-renewable to renewable is fundamental if we are to retain that industry in this region. Caps on the growth of dairy and pastoral generally through water quality issues and greenhouse gas issues mean that we can't just remain in a productivity situation, but moving up the food chain to added value products. Continuing loss of jobs in traditional industries, and most traditional industries in local regions are losing jobs. And creating new industries and new employment opportunities is essential. The ageing population, and with that the loss of skills that those people take out of the workforce, and the continuing loss of young talent from the regions, means that we have to build skills, especially amongst younger people. And perhaps, if you follow the news on the last few days, as you watch this apparent trade war that's bursting out between China and the US, defensive international trade practices seem to be on the horizon. So building direct markets, both nationally and internationally, become important. So with every threat, there is an opportunity, and it's about taking opportunities that this report has been prepared. And what's at stake? Really, 5 things that are so important in this region. Your enviable household incomes. You have amongst the highest in regional New Zealand. Your employment levels are strong. Your productivity levels are, I think, the highest. Your economic growth rate and your population growth rate. Those are what make the community, apart from the human dimensions, but those are what make or underpin the community. That's what's at stake. So I'm putting together this program. We had a mission, Taranaki, where talent becomes enterprise. That's the people-centred dimension, making people the centre of development. The 3 aspects of the vision: an attractive lifestyle, talented people, and a modern high-value economy. And goals, specific measurable goals, that the Taranaki lifestyle offering retains and attracts people. That Taranaki is a place where talented people want to live. They don't go somewhere else. And Taranaki, which has the highest proportion of technology-enabled and digitally focused enterprises in regional New Zealand. That is, that we're connected up, wired up and moving. And the values that underpin all of that. In terms of action, we identified 4 futures. Those are, if you like, the sectors or the business areas where we see a future. The energy futures, because you already have a very strong energy industry, but change is upon that industry. And can we adapt those assets into a new environment? Maori economy futures. The potential of the Maori economy is enormous. Food futures. You have more than 150 year tradition of food production in the region, but there are also threats to it, and any further extension of it needs to take it into that value-added area. And visitor sector. You have a wonderful environment, wonderful opportunities, but you're below the average in terms of this particular sector. It's probably quite an easy job to get up into a stronger position. So those are the 4 futures. Under them are 4 foundations. I mentioned before the human focus, the people focus, that's the talent, enterprise and innovation. There's access and connectivity, That's the digital aspect of it, and by digital we don't just mean the pipeline, we mean the capability of businesses to use and advance using digital technology. Vibrancy and livability, which is a core value in the region, and investment, that it's not just local government that labours away trying to develop the region and fund much of this, but that it has a broader base of funding. And then leadership from all the parties that are mentioned at the bottom there, the Mayoral Forum, Venture, the councils, and then the various agencies. So let me just very quickly talk about those 4 futures. The energy futures. It's proposed to develop a new energy development centre, which will look at new energy options. There are 2 million jobs a year created in the US in new energy. 2 million jobs a year. H2 Taranaki, that's the hydrogen technology, which has real opportunity in the region. The food futures, which is essentially developing a Taranaki food network, which would move into producing and supporting added value product. The Maori economy futures, developing the innate talent in the sector and building businesses at a village level and at a city and town level. Visitor sector futures, specific such as the Taranaki Crossing upgrade, the North Egmont Visitor Centre, enhanced regional events program, and a Taranaki Cathedral upgrade. In the foundations, we're proposing in the talent innovation enterprise and innovation area a series of innovation hubs, development hubs, focusing on technology and business development around the region, potentially up to 6 of those hubs. Vibrancy and livability. In the first instance, we're looking at perception research. Why do people come here? Why do people stay here? What do they like about the place? What is the attractiveness of it? And how can we enhance that? Accessibility and connectivity, the Port Taranaki diversification, upgrade of State Highway 43 and the opportunities that creates. The airport intersection, trial of fibre in schools, reviewing process on resolving cellular and broadband black spots, and investment that is looking for alternative investment channels. Just looking at it from a sub-regional point of view for a second, if you move from the left to the right, Tapuae Roa lays a framework across the region in a series of hubs that are anticipated to be developed in the area. Each hub will offer training, particularly in technical and contemporary skills and technologies, business development opportunities such as incubators and shared spaces and those sorts of things, focusing on supporting not only new businesses but the extension of existing businesses. Then moving across, each hub will be a centre of business development activity, and you can see the sorts of things that are outlined there. And then each of the hubs will have a responsibility for a future activity. So in New Plymouth it may be energy in the visitor sector, and in South Taranaki food, and Stratford visitor centre extension, and in the village hubs and in those other main hubs, the Maori economy activity. As we look into this, what are some of the key principles that are driving behind it? Firstly, we're looking long term, plan solutions to major disruptions that are coming around the corner. We're looking to build resilience. The best form of resilience is a sound economy. We're looking to build people using the wealth between our ears, as I've said before, not just that under our feet. Leadership, making it happen, not waiting for it to happen. Leveraging multiple revenue sources. Scale and integration, using the full resource of a region acting together. And motivation in that sense of doing it, that is regional development, not as a hobby, but as if we own it. So finally, how do we do this? And the answer is by evolution, not revolution. In the short term, there are the announcements today. Once past those, there'll be project feasibilities. Some projects will be able to start right from the beginning. For example, some of those in the visitor sector. There'll be funding conversations, and there'll be the question of how Venture Taranaki, the main agent for making this happen, how they will approach this. Then in the medium term, feasibility turns into business cases to make sure that they are watertight, that there's adequate funding, and that there's the operational structures to deliver it. And then in the longer term, regional funding is in place, regional governance in place, iwi partnerships are strong across all of these areas, and VTT's operation is then best of breed to deliver this type of program. Can we do this? And the answer has to be a very clear yes, and the reason has to lie in that picture. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. A word for Henley Hutchins. Jeff Hutchins and Jeff Henley have done a number of these regional growth strategies around New Zealand. Wellington-based, we invited them to Taranaki, and it's fair to say they got infected with the enthusiasm of the lead team in particular and the team supporting the lead team. If they shared their hourly rates with their competitors, I suspect it wouldn't be helpful. I'm going to now introduce the Under-Secretary, Fletcher Tapuae, who will now address you. Thank you.
Kia ora everyone, and thank you all for being here today. It is an incredible day for us all, and so thank you for taking part. There are of course some acknowledgements to be made. So firstly to Peter, thank you. To the Mayoral Forum, I acknowledge you all. I'd of course like to acknowledge Minister Andrew Little, our local MP here, Jonathan Young, and acknowledge my parliamentary colleagues from across the other side of the House for being here today. Acknowledge you all. Whare hoko wāno, Liana Poutu, Te Pahunga Davis, Al Morrison, I acknowledge you all. For me personally, as an Under-Secretary, to play a small part is an exciting opportunity, and to be here in Taranaki to celebrate the launch of Tapuae Roa, make way for Taranaki, is an exciting time, it really is. And that has been built on over the last night and this morning, speaking to the leadership, speaking to those who are passionately involved in this project. It is a wonderful day, it is an exciting time, and it is a wonderful beginning to something so important to everyone here. I would like, therefore, to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have been involved in the development of this action plan. To those of you who have been committed in bringing this together, because I know what has been involved in terms of the passion, the hard work, and dare I say it, the blood, the sweat, and probably even a few tears. So kia ora to you all, and thank you for your mighty efforts. It's significant and heartening to see you bring together business, iwi, Māori, and council leaders to focus on the bigger picture of this region. This is an integrated approach, and it means Taranaki will be moving forward together. And that is, and the significance of that cannot be understated. Mind you, I'd like to add that I do very much like and would like to acknowledge to the fact that this action plan provides direction for the region's economy, but still emphasising the lifestyle opportunities here in the Taranaki, but how that lifestyle and a strong economy can go hand in hand. I have said this many times over the years, as have my colleagues. The regions are a key driver to the New Zealand economy. Many of them have been left behind, but that is not the story of this region today. As has been said, this is a strong region, and in the main, people have been able to enjoy that together. But like the rest of the country, not all boats have been able to enjoy in that rising tide. There are parts of this community that must be acknowledged here today who have yet to enjoy the success. But you have an action plan in front of you here today. That means our communities, our iwi, our people from all parts of this community can enjoy in that success in the long term. So this Provincial Growth Fund was established as part of the government's coalition agreement, in which we have committed to investing $1 billion, I can't say it as well as the Minister, per annum over 3 years. So that is $1 billion per annum over the next 3 years. It is an incredibly significant sum of money. But today we can see how we can do that right together. And so that we are not simply giving away money, we are investing in our regions so that the return on that investment, that real investment, will be real and meaningful for all of this country as we move together. So we will lift productivity. We will re-inject the lifeblood back into our regions or catalyse and grow what we already have. We will be increasing the quality of our resources available to existing sectors and opening up investment in new sectors. And I've had first-hand conversations of that here in New Plymouth myself. And last night I had yet another one with some of the local businesses. It's amazing. So it is about growing and accelerating what we have, and I say it again, so that all members of our community can enjoy that success, so all of those boats can rise with that growing tide. And more generally, the PGF is about investing in remedial infrastructure projects, strengthening work and employment readiness and capabilities, and here we will be accelerating existing projects and identifying a robust pipeline of projects. Again, generally the PGF also focuses on enhancing economic development opportunities, creating sustainable jobs, boosting social inclusion and participation, building resilient communities, and helping to meet New Zealand's climate change targets. I would add that government officials are available to assist and help in the development of proposals. And we do have wonderful people out in the regional communities, and I thank those of you who have already acknowledged our senior officials here today. They are passionate people who are trying to do the best by their communities. And I just want to add, we have already learnt some lessons down in Wellington, and we will be able to accelerate and help you in moving projects forward in a more than timely fashion. So about Taranaki though, and I am happy to repeat what's already been said because it's important that the message is strongly pushed through. So you all know that your economy is largely based on oil, gas, dairy and engineering, and tourism is a growing factor. But I'm really heartened to see that your new action plan recognises that Taranaki is transitioning into a modern high-value economy based on the skills of your people, the enterprise of your people, and the knowledge stored in those people. The action plan gives purpose and context to building the region's economy through new directions for the established energy and food industries with their highly skilled workforce, a new approach to building a modern skill base, and a vibrant post-settlement Māori community shaping its future with confidence. The opportunities highlighted in the action plan will go a long way to Taranaki continuing to transform its traditional sectors, with the focus being on energy, food, the visitor sector and Māori, and taking that economy to the next level. So underpinning those four futures though are the identified four foundations, so that when enhanced will enable the region to accelerate its full growth. So the foundations again are the talent, enterprise and innovation, the accessibility and connectivity, vibrancy and livability, and investment. All of these combined will work to grow the talent and the entrepreneurial mindset, skills and capabilities of the wider Taranaki community as the foundation of a modern economy. This government, is committed to working with you to ensure the whole region has a strong and sustainable economy going forward. We will work closely with you to implement this, and I acknowledge the Minister with his voracious workload and his voracious desire to get things done. And we are lucky in that I, as the Under-Secretary, am literally here to help him, to help you to do that. This partnership between central and local government, iwi, and business and the community will continue to develop as we work to capitalise on the opportunities outlined in this action plan. As the action plan so succinctly puts it, kia eke pānuku, together, let's make this happen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'll take the opportunity to introduce my boss. It's quite a funny relationship though, because I'm the deputy leader of the party. So in some things he has to listen to me, but in most things I have to listen to him. But so far it's working out just fine. But it is a privilege to take this opportunity to introduce one of the hardest working ministers of this country's time right now. He is incredibly passionate about his job. Actually, dare I put it, despite not so recent histories, he is the embodiment of the New Zealand First philosophy, but this government's drive to action. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is a genuine pleasure. Would you please join me in welcoming the Honourable Shane Jones.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Te mana whenua, Taranaki maunga, Taranaki tangata, woku mihi atu kia koutou i roto i tō tātou whanaungatanga Māoritanga. I ngā kāhika, i ngā koromatua, ngā pūkenga, ngā rangatira o Taranaki whānui, kia ora koutou katoa. Greetings, folks. Every time we come to Taranaki, I'm reminded of when I was a boy. I come from Awanui, and I was born and bred on a dairy farm, a bit of a hard scrabble kind of Maori affairs farm. And occasionally we used to go to see our relations, and they lived south of the Hokianga Harbour. And one day we went on a trek, and on the top of the highest hill in this particular area called Maunganui, on a clear day you can see the peak of Taranaki. And the old man who took us up there, he wasn't all that old, he's probably my age, he said Taranaki was a rejected lover. He said the Māoris believed that Taranaki was in a contest with the Tongariro mountain for the affections of Pihanga, a female mountain in the inland. And Taranaki came off second best and fled in a sense of failure and sadness. And every time the Tongariro mountain belches, it's a warning to Taranaki that you came off second best, so now you stay on the coast. Well, I've come to tell you with a $20 million announcement, you're at the top of the class. You've heard about the Provincial Growth Fund. I have already, in the several speeches I've given, acknowledged your civic leaders and the iwi leaders who have led this kaupapa. And the criteria of the fund has been laid out by my colleague Fletcher. As I sat next to Andrew Little, I was reminded, I came here in 2012, went to Methanex. The leader of Shell, sitting over there, took me to various sites. And then I came into New Plymouth, Ngā Motu, and gave a press statement. It made the front page of your local newspaper. I had done extraordinarily well until I got back to the Labour Party caucus, and I had actually gone against every policy that the Labour Party had. I'm now a New Zealand First MP. Andrew Little, tēnā koe. My whanganui sister Harete, Barbara, Jonathan, tēnā koutou katoa. I actually just want to quickly go through the announcements, because it is important that we, as your political representatives, we are dedicating public money here. And the National Party, as is correct, every day stand up in Parliament and ask me questions about the quality of the stewardship and the level of affirmation and support in the community. So I want to acknowledge you, Bishop. I think it's Luke chapter 2, verse 10, where it says, "Behold, I come, bringing good tidings of great joy." Now, I am prone from time to time, after 5 years at St. Stephen's Maori boarding school, for quoting the Bible, but my rangatira Winston Peters says, "Shane, less quoting the Bible, try living by it." It may sound rather odd that Winston should give the advice. But to the Taranaki Cathedral Church of St Mary, I'm happy to announce on behalf of the Coalition Government a fund of $5 million to help with the restoration of it. Earlier today, we spoke with the tangata whenua about Taranaki Maunga, and I'm very, very proud to announce, and I will tell you the 4 ministers who are involved in these decisions: David Parker, the Environment Minister; Grant Robertson, the Finance Minister; Mr Twyford, the Transport Minister; myself, and we also had input from the Minister of Conservation. And we are dedicating $13.3 million towards the Taranaki Crossing experience. This will unleash the tourism potential of your main natural asset, Taranaki Maunga. On the question of energy, we as a government are moving in a way to try and bring the stakeholders of our economy and the leaders within our society on a transition journey. A journey driven by our desire to live up to our international credentials in the context of climate change, but a journey, especially for me as a minister from New Zealand First, that acknowledges the provinces are the generators of so much of our foreign exchange earnings. And whilst I as a government minister have a role, along with our Prime Minister and my fellow colleagues in Cabinet, to lead the transition and set a general direction, it is not in my playbook or our playbook to undermine the solvency of any single industrial sector. And for those reasons, we are dedicating feasibility money for the Taranaki Hydrogen Roadmap, the new Energy Development Centre, because as the consultant over here said, disruptiveness is on its way. But it's not fair for the provinces to think that they will not have a champion that ensures that our government does not stand strong, have a plan, but minimise the disruptiveness to the daily lives of the men and women who derive their livelihood from industries that themselves will have to carry the burden of change over the next 20, 30 years. That's why we're willing to meet the costs and contribute to feasibility studies and possibly further investment to ensure that we don't arrive at a better climate change spot without having laid to ruin provinces such as this and where I come from in the far north. Future. Food is a key part of your kaupapa. We are dedicating feasibility monies there as well. And look, the main one I want to talk about just as I wind up is State Highway 43. The forgotten highway, I understand you call it locally. So this is a $400,000 grant, but I would say to you civic leaders and any engineers in the room, this is not just another study. I am committed to using my influence in the context, along with my colleagues, of the Provincial Fund to actually lay down a better road, tar sealed, and open it up so people like you and I and international visitors can use it and enjoy a high quality tourism experience. Now, after you having heard me say that, I'm conscious that Whangamomona is a republic. And Whangamomona has been known from time to nominate and vote a goat in as the president. I hope not to be that goat. Thank you very much. Kia ora tātou katoa. Can I get my Taranaki whānau to come and sing a waiata, please? Hara mai.
Tuku tuku roi matae. Tuku tuku roi matae. Picking a popo, picking a popo, Kyoto Taranaki. Idea me mataki taki o tuku tuku roi matae. Tuku tuku roi matae. Maya tu e te iwi e, ngara wea tau iwi. O tia me we I kei ngā o ngati kama a ngā tau eke. O ngā eke. A ngā tau eke. No reira e te iwi, no reira e te iwi e. Kia kaha kia mautonu. Kei roke ngā rungoa ke tonu atu au e tau kiri e. Au e tau kiri. Au e tau kiri. O tūmai Taranaki. Tūmai Taranaki e. Tike tike mai a tātou. Roto i te kaua tapu hapai na tō mana. Toro tika ki a rangi e. Toro tika ki a rangi e. Hi au e hi.
Nā reira, tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou. May the waka, Tapuae Roa, the enduring footprint, sail long, hard and successfully. Kia ora tātou.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes the events. We've got a busy schedule ahead of us. We've got some refreshments at the back. Thank you for everyone who have contributed today, ministers, under secretary, members of parliament, councillors, mayors, and all of you here, very familiar faces to me and the team for producing such an amazing piece of work. So thank you. Tēnā koutou katoa.
Take it